finding the lowest common multiple is kind of the opposite of the greatest common factor. So you'll be given two numbers, and you list multiples of both until you find one that they both have in common, and you want the lowest one possible. So I'll show you what this looks like on a ruler. Let's start with 3 and 5. So we're going to line up the green, which is 3, and the yellows, which is 5. When you line up the Cuisenaire blocks, they kind of stack like bricks. The way to find the lowest common multiple is the first point where the end meets. And I'm just going to zoom in so you can see a little better. None of these ends lines up properly. They're all staggered until you get to 15. And both of those blocks end there. So that means the lowest common multiple. So the smallest number that they have in common, if you multiply these numbers by 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up, is 15. So I can write up here, the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5 is 15. It also happens to be 3 times 5. So if you multiply these two numbers, you are going to get a multiple that's common to both of them, but it won't necessarily be the lowest. In this case, it is. Right? Let's try 6 and 12. In this example of 6 and 12, I'm going to write out the multiples of 6 and the multiples of 12, and I will stop when I get to a number that is common to both of them. So multiples of 6, start with 6 times 1. 6, 12. 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24, and I will stop there. Multiples of 12, well, as soon as you write down the 12, you've got a number that's common to both of them. So the lowest common multiple of 6 and 12 is 12. Multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Now, it might be tempting to multiply 6 times 4 because that worked for 3 times 5, right? The lowest common multiple was 15. But even though 24 is common to both of them, you want the lowest common multiple. And the first number that these both have in common is 12. So the lowest common multiple of 4 and 6 is 12. So in summary, to find the lowest common multiple, you write the multiples of each, so this number times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, and then you see the first number that both numbers have in common.